served as the Executive Vice President and Chief Product Officer of Nu Skin, a role that he assumed in 2021. After years of impactful leadership with the company, including serving on the Global Management Committee since 2018, with over 30 years of experience in global wellness, beauty innovation, product development, and manufacturing, Steve has been instrumental in bringing cutting-edge technologies and world-class products to life, impacting millions of people around the world. But beyond the titles, the achievements, and the incredible experience, what truly makes Steve exceptional is who he is as a person. Steve represents the heart of Nu Skin. He is a leader who genuinely cares, who listens, who serves, and who's always willing to give his time and energy to support others. His passion is not just innovation, it's people. It's helping others to grow, succeed, and transform their lives. And that is what makes him not only a brilliant executive, but a true servant leader. Please help me to welcome someone who is shaping the future of our industry with both vision and heart. Please help me to welcome Steve Hatchett. Steve, thank you for being with us today.
Wow, Patty, buenas noches.
¿Cómo estás?
Muy bien, ¿y tú?
Muy bien. Very good, very good. Steve, for us, it's an honor to have you here. Thank you for your time. Thank you for always being available for us. Look at all the hearts that our team is giving to you. And okay, since that, please help me to welcome Steve Hatchett.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you so much, Patty. It's so good to be with you. And I have to tell you, this is actually most definitely the best part of my day to spend it with you, with Andres, and with all these amazing, wonderful people here. Thanks so much for the hearts. We call that here a heart attack, but it's a good heart attack. It's a good heart attack, and we're so grateful for that. And we're so grateful for all of you and all that you do all over the world. It's so fun to be part of a company that is committed to helping people, and that's what we do. That's really all our business is about. And I was talking to Joe Ching. He wishes he could have been here. I was going to have him come with me today, and surprise you a little bit, but he's traveling right now. And he's over on the other side of the world, and he couldn't make it, but he told me to tell everybody hello and to not worry, because he is fully engaged at Nu Skin, and he's helping the world become better, and that he loves what he does, and it's all about the people as well for him too. So we're just having so much fun over here, and I'm here in Provo, Utah. I'm actually here at the corporate offices. I'm here on the 9th floor. Those of you who have been here before, you know where my office is, and you're always welcome when you come to Nu Skin. Say hi, let me know you're here. I'd love to connect with any of you that are here. So, Patty, this is your event. This is your special opportunity. So I want to make sure I deliver everything that you need today. So tell me how I can help you. I've got a couple things prepared, but what's the most important things I can do today for you?
Perfect, Steve. Let me check here what we have. So, Steve, we would love to know about the future of Prysm, the vision. Let me see here. I had some notes for you. So, okay. We would love to better understand like the long-term vision of Prisma.io. How far do you see this technology going in the coming years? What is the global vision of Prysm.io with the future of wellness and personalization? And we would love to know the development of new supplements, involved with the alignment with this technology. And it is possible, we would like to know all the technological advance that we can spread from Prysm.io in the long term. And how often people should expect like updates or evolution in the device, And maybe we would like to know too, kind of like the country-specific studies or adaptations by the country, considering cultural and nutritional difference. So basically, we would love to know the future of Prysm.io. Everybody's so excited. So I would like to know, Steve, Hatchett, more than know, I would love like the people that is here see the big vision of what is coming. You know, this is just like how you say, Andres, the bottom of the like all the things that we are gonna find out with Prysm.io. You know, this is just the beginning. So we would love that the team and the people that is here see that the vision that you had for the Prysm.io. Thank you, Steve.
Okay. Well, not much to cover. So you ready?
Yes, we are ready and we have all
Okay.
the time.
Okay. We can buckle up your seatbelts and let's get going. Now, do we have just Colombia? Who do we have on the call today? Do we have everybody
No,
from Latin
Steve, we had people from United States, from some Latinos, you know, most of the people is Latinos, but we had people from Mexico, Colombia. Here you can see, look, Chile,
Colombia.
Colombia,
There we
Peru,
go.
from Argentina.
Okay. Now we're talking. Okay. I want to know who is here. Gabby
Yeah,
from
you can put like some from
Orlando.
Spain. Wow, they are actually
There we go.
wake up for you for like 2 a.m. in the morning. Venezuela, look.
There they are.
We are close. Yeah, you can put the country there,
Oh, that's
everybody.
fantastic. Okay.
Australia, wow,
Yeah,
Steve.
there you go.
We have an international thing, an international, yes.
Oh, this is fantastic. Shout out to all these amazing people here. Okay, I'm going to make it worth your while. Now, here's an interesting fact, and this is true, Patty. Most people say, Steve, where did you go? You've been gone. Like, what happened? Like, we haven't seen you as much. Used to be on social media all the time. People saw you and all this, and then whew, gone. And just so you know, I'm here. This is not AI. This is me. I'm here, and having a lot of fun. And it's good to see Sol from Argentina. It's awesome. Like, look at all these amazing. I was just in Argentina, by the way. So those of you who are in Argentina know that I was just down there. So I'm alive and kicking. But here's what I've been doing. Well, let me just say this. When you talk about what is the potential of new skin and specifically Prysm.io, your enthusiasm is well founded. I'm excited to share more about the future tonight. And I haven't done this in a long time. Like it's several months now, because I've been in a laboratory for the most part. And I've been working with our engineers and with our scientists and with all the data people. So everybody who wears glasses and and lab coats and everything else. Andres, not you, but everyone else was in the room. So, but we were having so much fun because we found. Well, I can't tell you what we found, but you will see over the course of the next couple of months some of the things that have come up. Let me just say this, Prysm.io is more than a device. To answer your question, Prysm.io is a way of life that will be doing a lot more will provide you with a lot more information, but it's really a foundation. The way I look at it, it's a foundation of a new era of measurable, data-driven beauty and wellness. And so in the coming years, we envision it evolving into a central hub. Okay, now think of this. It's a central hub like a brain for proactive nutritional health and well-being. And this, we anticipate, will help millions of people move beyond this guesswork to see real and quantifiable results from their diet, from their supplements, from their personal care choices, from their lifestyle choices. I mean, this is what's going to happen. Now, of course, we had to start off with carotenoids. And we had to start off with some of these amazing antioxidants, which are critical biofactors for you. And it helps in terms of understanding what is really happening inside of our bodies. But please understand a couple of things. Number one is there's a lot of people who are now jumping on the carotenoid bandwagon or antioxidant bandwagon. You go find it, but we are the only ones that are backed by over 20 years of science, a proprietary database of now we were at 21 million. Remember that? Even 2 months ago, we were at 21 million. Now we're at 22 million. Why? Because we have 1.2 million scans and data that we now have from our Prysm. 1.2 million. Now to get 1.2 million with the scanner, it took us almost 2.5 years. 2.5 years. We did it in 2 months. Why? Because we have now democratized the device. So now we have roughly about 30,000 prisms globally right now. It's amazing. We were originally saying we're going to do 100,000 by the end of the year. I think we should probably up that number to closer to 200,000. We are probably, and just think about this right now, we only have roughly around 2,500 active scanners currently in the marketplace. 2,500, okay? And we now have 30,000 prisms. So the growth and the opportunity, our life pack sales is growing dramatically. Our Pharmanex product portfolio is growing dramatically. We are seeing individuals who have figured out a way to share the Prysm story in a meaningful way to help on subscriptions and consumption of products in a really powerful way. And they break into two groups. One is just predominantly customers, people who want to measure their health and specifically the antioxidant levels, and then others who are building a business with this tool. And as you know, whether you look at Galvanic Spa, so Patty, as you remember, Galvanic was successful from day one, right?
Yes. No.
Well, it was successful in terms of it was a great technology, but it almost took 5 years before people really understood how to do a half-phase demo, how to tell the story, how to share it with people. It changed everything. So the company actually brought out the technology. It didn't change at all, but it was the amazing leadership in the field who figured out the way to actually share it with other people. So what we're finding is we're already hearing these stories from the field specifically in Taiwan, in the United States, in South America, in Korea, all over the world. We're seeing consistent reports from people who have come up with their own way of doing it. Let me tell you the 3 ways that are being the most successful. You ready? First one is, number 1, they are saying essentially that they are using the Prysm IO as tip of the spear with everybody around them to bring a new discussion to the table, because they've talked about products before. Maybe they've talked about health and beauty before. Maybe they've shared AP24. Maybe they've shared other products to people, but they've never had a Prysm before. So this is a new conversation starter. So that's really, really important. So that's number 1. And it's all about understanding your overall health and well-being, and specifically talking about your antioxidant score and understanding what it means, okay? Number 2, and I'm going to go into more detail. I'm going to provide a PowerPoint too, Patty. So I'm going to give you some good information, and then you guys can take the PowerPoint. And I'll be sending this PowerPoint to you just so you have it personally. So don't worry if you miss some of this information. This is coming out to you guys, so you'll have it, okay? Number 2 is, some people will say, Steve, no. I don't want to disrupt my business by talking about products. I only want to share my products and then provide the Prysm as a substantiation for the products. Now, something magical just recently happened in Colombia, and it's happening all over Latin America. There's a new product there. You know what that is, Patty?
Yes, we had youth.
That's right, youth. And it's coming down to Argentina. It's we have it here in the United States, of course, and so forth. What everyone needs to understand is that product by itself, made, of course, by Joe Chang and the team here, that has what's called fat-soluble nutrients. Now, understand, what does fat-soluble mean? I'm not going to get too geeky on you, but just so you know, you have fat-soluble means you need fats to absorb. So the absorption mechanism, which is essentially fat-soluble antioxidants like vitamin A, beta-carotene, all the carotenoids that you're having, if you don't have fats, then you will not be able to dissolve and be absorbed into the intestinal wall. So a lot of people think, oh, I'm going to consume all these great antioxidants, and I'm going to do it with, just with water, and that's just fine. You want to convert the fat to what's called micelles and then convert it over into the small intestine. Well, guess what? Youth actually already has essential fatty acids in it. Think about this for a second. This is why Joe did it. So essentially you have fatty acids that are used, that are already in the actual youth product. In fact, I was going to grab it because that's my go-to every morning, just to give you some idea. So in this product right here, inside the soft gel, this is a powerhouse because you need fats to absorb. Can you guys see all that in here? So inside of this individual capsule is the essential fats that you need for absorption of the antioxidants that are in there, because those are fat-soluble antioxidants. Beta carotene is a fat-soluble antioxidant. Why is that so important? Because guess what? If you have it here, you can take it with water and the maximum absorption actually takes place. That's why youth is so powerful. Okay? So understand that's really important. My cell formulation, basically dietary fat helps form lipids in clusters. That's the micelles I was talking about in the small intestine, which are crucial for transporting these fat-soluble components through the intestinal watery environment. So the National Institute of Health and everyone else, they all are very familiar with this, and this is the key to improving bioavailability. So Prysm, in combination with Youth and or Life Pack Nano, which we don't have necessarily in Colombia, but in other places we do, to have Youth is such a big deal down in Colombia. Okay. Now, my understanding is it just got down there, and you guys are going to have a 15-day supply, which is going to be a little less expensive, and it'll be wonderful for you. And then there's also some other products that are coming. I won't go into all the details yet, but let's just say that we feel like protein should be involved more in your diets. So we think that perhaps having something that would be a more efficient protein source, which is again essential, in addition to essential fatty acids, essential, in combination with a few of these other products that you already have down there. I'm telling you, Latin America, you're already on fire, by the way, and now it's going to change everything. So think about it from this standpoint. If you're taking Youth on a daily basis, you'll be able to validate it with the Prysm in terms of its functionality. Okay. That's really, really important. So first, use Prysm to potentially establish credibility in a news story that you can talk to people and bring that through. Number two is sell Youth, sell all the products that you currently already are taking and utilizing on a daily basis wherever you are in the world, because this is so many different places around the world. You don't have to change your story. If you're selling collagen, keep selling collagen. If you're selling Youth, sell Youth. If you're selling True Face, sell True Face. If you're selling Nutricentials, if you're doing AP24, we're not disrupting that story. But what we are saying is, if you want the ability to potentially understand whether or not that product is actually working for you and making a huge difference inside of you, then we have a clinically validated support tool that can actually tell you the antioxidant score inside of your body. That's a big deal. So the way I frame it is this. Let me be clear on this so everybody's kind of clear on what we're talking about. So as I look at this, and I've got an image real fast internally of what Latin America looks like right now in terms of the nutrient deficiencies, just Latin America, and then we can talk about Spain and we can talk about the rest of the world. But here's the real problem. And this is the biggest concern that you potentially have. And this is why people don't fully understand what's going on. We're living in the most advanced era of medicine in human history. But most people remain nutritionally invisible. They are full, but their cells are hungry. If you want to extend health span, if you want to consistently help your body to do more, be more, if you want to empower individuals to take control of their health, you have to do three things. Number one is feed the body what it truly needs, protect it with antioxidants, and finally measure it and know that what matters. Because the future of health is not just about living longer. It's about living stronger, sharper, and healthier. And that future begins when we make the invisible, what's happening on the inside of our body. We don't see it. We see our face, we see our hands, we see this. We don't see that. And so the future begins when we make that invisible, the antioxidant score inside of our bodies, visible. And we can do that through Prysm.io. That's the only tool I've seen that actually shows what's going on the inside. Today, many people are consuming more than enough calories. That's not the problem. But they lack nutrients required for cellular repair, immune defense, metabolic balance, This is the big issue. And micronutrients power thousands of these biochemical reactions within our bodies. And without them, our cells just simply cannot function. So the real issue is most people don't know, number one, they're deficient. Prysm IO helps them understand the deficiencies, at least from an antioxidant standpoint. So when you walk into somebody's house, or you walk in, or you're coming to a lunch, or you're going to a, for instance, coffee, whatever it is that you're going to connect with somebody, you are actually making the invisible for them visible. And that is specifically their overall health score. And you can help them understand if they're deficient, or if they're taking supplements, if their supplements are working, or if their diet is actually helping protect their cells. So the future of what I feel like health is not just going to a doctor and treating, the issues that you're seeing come up and so forth. It's getting proactive about it and working with your doctor. It's measuring health before the problem happens. So if you look at it from this standpoint, if you look at the calories are typically 40% coming from wheat and grains, okay? 25 to 30% from meat. Then processed foods and fruits and vegetables are less than 10%. So you now have, if you look at the general diet, it's roughly between 70 to 90% wheat, grains, meat, processed foods. Less than 10% is fruits and vegetables, and that's where all of your antioxidants are coming from. So here's the antioxidant paradox, for instance, in Latin America. Latin America, and this happens quite often, has high antioxidant potential, meaning that you have tremendous biodiversity, you have amazing local cuisine like guava and mango, papaya, lulo. I can't even say some of these things, okay? But they're rich in antioxidants, okay? But here's the problem. 25% of the Colombian population, and specifically in Latin America, eat fruits and vegetables daily. So 1 in 4. The average consumption is well below the World Health Organization numbers. And the traditional modern, quote unquote, industrial dietary patterns favor high energy, low antioxidant foods because they taste great and they're quick. And they basically give our brain this feeling of satiety that's like, oh yeah, that was awesome. And you feel this real quick burst of energy. So essentially we're talking about sugar, rice, pasta, fried foods, all those types of things are really what I call high energy, low antioxidant foods. Okay. Now, socioeconomic factors also impact this. So high quality antioxidant rich diets are more common in areas that people have a tremendous amount of income, generally speaking. They can be a little bit more selective on what they eat, and they have the ability to do that. And in some cases, that's not available to them. So if you think about it, like if you look at some of the sources, so vitamin C and vitamin A, where does that come from? It's from all those fruits that I was just talking about. Anthocyanins come from, for instance, the berries, the tamarillo, acai, those types of things. Polyphenols that we've talked about before. They come from the cocoa, the Colombian cocoa, for instance, coffee, araza, and then carotenoids typically come from, like, for instance, papaya, mango, and golden berries. Okay, these are all the great sources. Now people say, oh, I eat those. How much do you eat those, and what's the percentage of active? Now here's the problem. The antioxidant gap is linked to all these other challenges with, not only is it a fruit, but is that fruit being grown in an environment that maintains the nutrients that are supposed to be there, or is it primarily sugar? And I've actually done some research on this. And what we're finding is the vast majority of fruit that's coming out, unless you're growing your own, the soil is depleted, number one. And number two, it's predominantly focused on sweetness, sugar. There is not one farmer who is being compensated right now to confirm that they're putting the right amount of carotenoids or antioxidants into the fruit. There's no farmer that's actually given any incentive to improve the nutrient density of the fruit. What they are compensated to do is get something that people will consume and they'll eat as much as possible, so they'll eat more and more and more and more. And what typically do people eat? Something that's sweet, that has a lot of taste to it. So their focus is on taste and sweetness, not nutrient density. Because quite frankly, some of these nutrients are a little sour, and that's the actives in there. So with that said, the reality is that for the world, we have essentially a real challenge with our ability to essentially, number one, eat the fruits and vegetables, because let's remember, 90% of people don't even eat the right amount of fruits and vegetables. So once you eat the right fruits and vegetables, do those fruits and vegetables actually have the antioxidants in them that you want and that you need, or is it a lot of sugar? Now, here's the good news. This is the great news. Actually, this is the wonderful news, is the fact that with Prysm, we're able to verify that, even if people eat fruits every single day, or they say they do. And then you can now offer them something that can substantively change their life in terms of ensuring that they get the correct amount of citrus bioflavonoids, specifically in this one, purple corn, lycopene, cranberry, rosemary extract, all these lutein, all in this for you. Okay. So this is a big deal. This is a game changer for all of Latin America and everyone who's committed to having healthier lives. Now, the question in the chat is, how can farmers increase the carotenoids in fruits and farms? Now, I'm not a farmer, so I can't tell you the answer to that question. But I can tell you this, that's going to cost a lot of money, because you're specifically the nutrients that you put in the soil and so forth, and be able to measure it and be able to have the rotation that you have in the system. A lot of right now, there's speed, it's the amount, it's the volume, it's the size. They're focused on size, sweetness, and everything else. So what you really want to focus on is making sure that you at least get some fruits into your diet, get some vegetables into your diet, get that product diversity into your diet. But here's the key. When is the last time, Patty, I'm going to ask you a question. When is the last time the waiter came to you and said, Patty, here is your salmon, or here is your whatever that they served to you at a restaurant, and here's the breakdown of the nutrient profile inside of the food I just gave you? When's the last time you did that at a restaurant? Did they tell you exactly what it was?
Never.
Yeah, you don't have it, right? You don't know. You have no idea. But if you take a product that you know, this is exactly what's on the label, you know exactly how much you received. And that is so important, because no one else is watching out for your body than you. No one. I don't care who they are. No one is watching out for you except for you. You're the one who's putting the food inside your mouth, or the supplements, or the personal care products. And you now have a truth detector, essentially, that tells you whether it's working or not working. This is the biggest deal. Now you finally have antioxidants that are world-class and something to measure. That's a big deal. And I just want to make sure it's clear that everyone understands how powerful that really is and why that makes that much of a difference in people's lives. Now, I'll stop there for a second, because I got a whole bunch of stuff to share with you, but I wanted to talk to you, make sure I didn't confuse you and cause any problems, because I think this is the story right now in Latin America, is the fact that you finally have youth. It's amazing. Patty, do you have any questions, or is there anything I can answer, Andres, up to this point before I jump into the rest of the questions that you answer? Because I have every single one of your questions ready to go.
No, Steve, go ahead. You can keep continue.
Okay.
Thank
So
you.
here's your next question you asked. You said, okay, how will the development of new supplements evolve in alignment with this technology? Here's the bottom line. The supplement development is now completely and tightly aligned with Prysm.io data and the clinical work that we've done globally. Everything is tied to that. So you'll see more work with our, what we're calling New Intelligence, NUI, that is going to help provide the algorithmic and AI analysis of our products, our clinicals, and the application to lifestyle. That's all going to happen. So every single product we have coming out over the course of the next 5 years, 10 years, are all going to be tied back to this score. Now, why is that important? Well, Steve, why would you just measure carotenoids? That's because we're not just going to measure carotenoids. So we've been measuring a lot of things recently. And you, Patty, are you going to be going to Johannesburg?
Yes.
Okay. All of those who are going to Johannesburg, you need to be ready. Because we're gonna share with you some information in Johannesburg that's gonna blow you away. And we are that's what I've been doing. My head's been down the last, ever since I think January was the last time we did a presentation. I can't remember, except for Argentina, and then Mexico. Been working with the scientists, and what we're going to present in Johannesburg is going to blow everybody away. It's going to change everything. It's just going to literally change everything. So that's about as much as I can say at this point in time, but I will give a shout out to Joe Chang, to Helen Nags, to Melanie Riggs, who does all of our clinical work. I mean, the work that they've done and the research that I've got here in front of me that we're reviewing right now, and the data that we have coming back to us is let's just say, this is where I've been spending all my time. This is where everything that we've been doing is right here. And this is what they're going to see in Johannesburg right here. This book right here. And I'm old school. I have to print everything off and I have to go review it. Then I take a little red liner to it and I go through. But when you're going to see what's happening in Johannesburg, yeah, we're going to do carotenoids. This is amazing. And we're going to build upon that science. But when you see what else we're going to be doing in the long-term future of all of our products tying both personal care. So think of True Face, think of Nutricentials, okay? Think about other inner beauty products like Beauty Focus Collagen Plus, like protein, like TRMe in some places. Just think of the entire grouping of products and recognize we're just getting started. So we want to make sure that we're clear on the fact that Prysm.io, this is the starting point. The gun just went off in terms of the start of this process. And you guys are just seeing the very beginning of what we're going after. So think about this. Moving forward, our PharmaNet scientists and our age lock research, by the way, is going to be tied to this aggregated scan insights. And we're going to take all the trend data, all the ongoing clinical data, which we have multiple clinicals going at this point in time right now. And we're taking all of that insight and information to formulate all the next generation products. Now, think about this. Take our history for a second. Gene expression. How can we tie gene expression into this story? Well, that'd be interesting. What if you tied all the age lock science that we have across the board to all these products, but it would be reflected back through the Prysm? That's interesting. What if we were able to provide this continuous innovation and enhancements on an AI-powered app that would provide deeper predictive analytics and expanded lifestyle integrations, including diet, fitness, and sleep? That'd be kind of cool. What if we were able to continue to try to go down this path on carotenoids, and while we were going through that research, we found some new ingredients that perhaps would improve the bioavailability of all the existing products that we already have. So when you say, this is your question, you said, how will the development of new supplements evolve in alignment with this technology? Hopefully that gave you a very good, at least overarching hint. And in Johannesburg, you're going to hear all about what I just explained in the details of science and information. So get ready for what's happening. And that's where we've been spending all of our time. So we've got to keep the platform at the cutting edge, turning complex science into simple and empowering daily insights for you. Okay. Now, your next question was, how often should we expect updates or evolution of the device? Oh, you want to trip me up on this, don't you? You want to get me in trouble. So listen, Prysm.io is built for longevity, but please know that Prysm, the device itself, is phenomenal. It's wonderful. It's incredible. But the magic is going to happen in here. And why I say that is because everybody has a phone. This is the unique positioning. Everybody's going to be able to get access to this, but it's the breadcrumbs and the business building and the analytics and the connection to other apps and devices and wearables and other things that potentially will flow through this device. So you've got to recognize, you better become very familiar with the Prysm.io app as it's going to continue to go through updates. So you said, when should we expect updates? We are updating this at least one major update a quarter. So every single time we do a quarterly update, you're going to see massive improvement in terms of what's happening in here. Okay. That is going to be significant. There are things that we can now incorporate where we do an update and we can update the entire global fleet in a matter of less than 30 minutes. Everything. 30 minutes updated. All you have to do is go in and update it in the App Store. And so then you have that update and it flows through. Okay. We've already done multiple global updates, and we'll be doing the next update coming in April. And we're really excited about those updates. And I'll explain some of that in Johannesburg when we're there. And what we're going to be doing in June, another update coming in September, and another big update in Yokohama. So get ready for that one. That one's going to be huge. You going to go with that one too, Patty?
No, I want to know.
You're not, well, maybe we'll get to it. All right. So Prysm.io, it's built for longevity. Regular software and app updates are going to happen quarterly. And then we'll sneak in some other ones as we go through. When I say sneak in, we don't want to wait. If we have things that we can help you with and improve your business and give you additional insights, we're going to upload those. So keep your app updated, and it's going to provide better performance overall. So to think about this, so we want to make sure our goal here is very, very simple. Make your life easier, make your life better, provide insights in a more simple, easy, and shareable way. And so watch for the push notifications, the ability to share clinical, share information. My goal is to be able to have, once the clinical comes in, it comes into a shareable link, goes right to all of you, then you can share it with other people, and you can put a product offer right with it. That's simple. Like, it's 1, 2, 3, boom, and it's out to everybody. So all the friends and family members who are saying, well, what about sleep? Does sleep really affect the overall score? And then how about if you use the product? Does that really impact the combination of sleep? Oh, here's the study. Here's the link. Here's the product. Here's the promotion. And it goes right to them. That push notification, that simple. You're linking everything through. So this is all the stuff that you said. So how often should we expect updates or an evolution of the device? Expected on a quarterly basis. Okay. It's kind of like that, we're not promoting Tesla or anything like that, but any of you who have a Tesla or something along those lines, those cars get smarter every single quarter because there's more updates and more updates and more updates. And so your car actually becomes more valuable and can function more effectively. Isn't that amazing what we can do with science now and technology? So without a hardware replacement, the platform evolves and the science and user needs get better, and the device itself, it's designed for a long-term companion. So vision for global expansion, country-specific studies or adaptations considering cultural and nutritional differences. This was your question, Patty. And so I'm just going to answer that for you. So absolutely, we are going to, and you have seen with the Lancet study, which let me just jump into this right now so you guys actually have some information. The global relevance is core to our strategy. So what we're set up as right now is Prysm.io already draws on the massive, what I would call a massive and diverse database of scans across nearly 50 countries. We're also using the study that was done by Harvard and Lancet to talk about deficiencies in every single country, along with the World Health Organization and so many other groups that have put that information out there, okay? So that's happening. In addition to that, we're also utilizing our study that we did that we're currently underway with Stanford Medicine, and that's going to be revealed here and coming up in Johannesburg. We're going to reveal the results of the Stanford Medicine study. It's going to be amazing. We saw a preliminary on this, and Patty, you're going to be so excited. I mean, like, it is so incredible what we found out in our study. We already have the Jitong study that's finished. You guys know that came out, and the Yonsei study. These are all lifestyle studies that help us understand the performance on a daily basis and across different populations. This is the really important thing. Lifestyle and behaviors are different in different markets. What people are eating, for instance, in South America is different than what they're eating in Korea. The exercise levels, the types of work that they do on a daily basis, these are all different. And now we're actually compiling all of this into an algorithm and a database that informs the products that we make for the specific region. So we're customizing these products to a specific region as we grow with Prysm and make sure that we are continuous. Like you see that with all the life packs. All the life packs we're doing right now are specific to the region based upon the lifestyles and deficiencies of the nutrients that are in that area. So if you look at it, we'll continue to adapting these recommendations, the product pairings, the educational content with respect to the cultural and regional differences, while maintaining, and this is really, really important, the scientific rigor and regulatory compliance needed for every single one of those. So we're incredibly excited about the momentum behind Prysm.io and the measurable difference it's already making for early users. So it is really coming along in a huge, huge, huge way. And I got to tell you, let me show you this information. This is going to blow you away. So check this out. It is right here. I'm going to share this with you guys. All right. Okay. I called it New Skin Columbia because I knew that's, originally, Patty, where you guys are coming from. But this is it's a global look and feel and so forth. Okay. This is the Lancet Global Health Study that we were talking about before. You guys have seen this slide before, but some of you on this call might not have seen this. So I just want to make sure you're clear on how we're going about this. So how we look at this is very, very simple. In August 2024, the Lancet Global Health did a comprehensive global estimate of the dietary intake of 15 essential micronutrients. So wherever you are in the world today, take a look at this picture. Now, remember, if it's red, we always joke a little bit, say red's dead. That's not true. That's not fair. Red is not dead. It just means that you have inadequate intake in those specific nutrients. So, for instance, B6. So, if you're red, that means 100% of the population has inadequate intake. So there's very few groups, with the exception of like India and surprisingly Japan, was really deficient in B6. It's not surprising. But you would see most of South America, for instance, is roughly 50 to 75% of the population has inadequate intake of B6. Okay, it's a big deal. And then if you look at iodine, look at this globally around the world. If you look at vitamin E, this is so important. Vitamin E is so critical, and so many people are not getting an adequate intake of this. So this is the analysis that you asked about before, which is, are you guys looking at it regionally? The answer is yes. This is calcium, still really deficient in most of the areas of the world. Now, folate, folic acid, this is really important. This actually is so powerful. This is so good. And let me draw a couple of things from an epidemiological standpoint, which means a study done specifically for the region and area that we're focused on, okay? So where are some of the worst cases of pregnancy issues and birth defects and those types of things? Most of it happens, you can see here, the folate is right here in India. So look at India and how challenged it is, and it's deficient in folic acid, folate. There's just almost no consumption. So you see a relationship there between the two, which is folic acid and you see the impact on pregnancy. I see there's a question there. Do you want to wait till the end, Patty, or do you want to answer them now?
At the end, Steve.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, thanks.
We'll answer that at the end then, Mary, okay? So with that said, riboflavin, same thing. You look at it at iron, you look at vitamin C, zinc, vitamin B12, selenium, niacin. These are just a few of them, okay? Just to give you some ideas. Magnesium, this is what's going on. Now with Age Lock Youth, this is giving you an opportunity to get some of the key fat-soluble antioxidants that are really, really important. I already hit that number. It's 1.2 million. I won't worry with that. But you can see the numbers here in terms of how it's impacting us in terms of the potential for business. There are so many needs in the world right now for us to be able to drive this product and the measurable difference that we have here. So this is also a really important element that people just simply don't understand and they haven't comprehended, is the power that you have in your hands to actually show the difference demonstrated. This is something that's just unique to Nu Skin. No one has this. So it looks like you've ended interpretation. Am I coming across in Spanish? Perfect. Okay. You want me to keep going?
Steve, yes. Yes, Steve. It was just 1 second because the translator went out, but she entered it right now. So, Silvana, are you there? Yeah, right? So, is she okay? Perfect. Now it's okay.
Okay, great.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, you can continue.
Okay, great. Okay, so when you think about it, this is really, really important to be able to know that you can measure it. And you can also understand why that measurement is backed by science. And then you have a product to actually show the improvement and improve the overall scoring that you have. That's this youth product has the essential fatty acids that are needed for the conversion, as we talked about, of fat soluble antioxidants. That's really, really important. Okay. That's a meaningful piece of the business. Andres, you've seen this slide before? No? First time? All right. This is how I feel. I feel like we're just getting started. And this insight, so Patty, your team has been so helpful to us. Thank you for all the people who have said, we are, there's some people who say, essentially, I'm going to make it happen. And then you have some people say, well, I'm going to wait till something happens and then I'll try to do something. And then some people say, well, what happened? They don't even know. You have been leading out, as typically you do, Patty, because you're committed to, you believe in Nu Skin, you know what we're doing, and we're just getting started. But let me tell you why that's going to be so powerful for you. You're going to have access to all of these studies now. We're going to put these into the Prysm app, and some of you already have access to them. They're on Instagram. You can see them in our Nutrition Products Insider. That you see Nu Skin Product Insider. You can see all of these studies. We're going to make this readily available to you. So next time a doctor comes to you and says, they'll show me the study, you can say, oh, which one do you want? I can give you, and we'll give you exactly what they are, whether it's diet and lifestyle, whether it's carotenoid correlation, whether it's life pack impact, or whether it's specifically related to you, those types of things. We have them all ready to go for you, and we'll make them super easy and accessible. This is the major, major deal because a lot of people get confused about this issue. They think, oh, this is all about wellness. Look at this right here. Our study in Jittong University showed that Prysm IO reflects real-world nutrition and lifestyle patterns, and direct UV exposure correlates with reduced carotenoids. This is a big deal because our Nutricentials line, we have several different personal care products that have SPF that helps potentially reduce the UV exposure, which improves your overall antioxidant score, carotenoid score. So when we looked at that Jittong University study, this is so important. So there's not really anybody that you're talking to that doesn't have challenges with UV exposure, diet quality, physical activity, gut health, immune health, vitality, skin attributes, and sleep. All of that, those were all correlated. The Prysm score was correlated to those functional elements in the Jintong study. So there's not a product that we have at Nu Skin that does not support what we're talking about in terms of lifestyle. So this is not just about Life Pack, although Life Pack is a phenomenal product, and that's the one I recommend all the time, as well as youth. But when you're talking about personal care products, when you're talking about Beauty Focus Collagen Plus, when you're talking about any of these types of products, they will significantly have an impact if you use them consistently. We also found that there's a direct correlation between what you eat and then specifically the overall score. So it doesn't make anybody that surprised when you see that whole grains, fruits, dark colored vegetables that have rich in anthocyanins and carotenoids, freshwater fish, nuts, light colored vegetables, all those things improve your overall Prysm score. Why is this important? Because people say, well, it doesn't matter. Steve, we don't care because, you know, this is what we were told in health and studies back when we were kids. No, I get it. What I'm trying to say is that we can actually show a correlation on the score with Prysm. There is very few things in anywhere around the world that can actually show what you eat on a daily basis and how that relates to a score. You actually have that in your hands. That is proprietary technology. This technology cost roughly between $250,000 to $500,000 when they came into this industry. It was sitting in a lab and it was a massive machine, right? That was trying to give you insights in terms of what was happening on blood and lipids and all those types of things. Now we have this available and you can put it in your pocket. Isn't that crazy that we can do that? All right, so let's keep moving. Now, this formula, this is so important for you to understand why this specific formula that you have now in Latin America for youth, why that mechanism to help focus on this is so important. So it is helping your natural defenses, and it's helping you understand with these specific ingredients, the essential fatty acids, which is your fish, your bioflavonoids, the purple corn, lycopene, and so forth. These are powerful ingredients. It's a very unique blend, and it's been the one that has been studied more by our scientists than any other single formula. So this is a huge breakthrough to have this now and available currently in South America. Okay, let's keep rolling. We've talked about this before. These all are correlated. UV exposure, Prysm scores, sleep habits, Prysm scores, and regular physical activity, Prysm scores. All three of these, we see the correlations, and they're significant. We could never say that before with Scanner. We assumed that was the case. We didn't know that was the case. Now we see the correlation in clarity. So all of us are impacted by, all of us have to sleep, number one. Let's be really, really clear about this. Every single one of these things, unless you're laying in a bed, never going outside with all the lights off, and you're staying awake 24/7, that's the only way this slide doesn't matter to you. You are absolutely getting up, being exposed to sunlight, you have to sleep, and you're having some activity. Now, depending on what activity, now you can actually see the impact on that. Now we have access to this, where now we're getting all of our information, and what we're finding is families are unifying around this. They're seeing healthy households, and they make a huge, huge difference. Because what's happening is the kids are finally asking specifically about this. How do I get my score up? Why is this important to me? How do I improve? How do I get better? And now families are using this as a ritual in their daily lives. I can't tell you how many families have called me and said, Steve, every Sunday night or every Monday night, we get together and the kids are competing against each other for the highest score. And then they want to find out what they can eat or what they can do to improve that score. This is happening globally, and it's bringing families together. That's the culture of Nu Skin, bringing a community together, bringing a family together, helping each other with health insights and knowledge and recognition. And this is happening all over the place. We recognize that Prysm.io has never been and never will be the end game. It will never be that. What it is, it's a scroll stopper and it's a scientific validation point that you can use to start the conversation or solidify your sales. That's what it is, because no one else has it. And so essentially what you're thinking about is you're thinking about healthy households and what really matters. It's your family, it's your friends, it's those you care about. That's what really, really matters. And that's where we started with this. We said, okay, we're selling really valuable nutrients to the world. We're sharing them with people, and we're trying to make sure that people's overall health and wellness is improved. How do we do that? Number one, education. Number two, visibility. Number three, products that work. And number four is making sure that we take it through a group of people who actually care about other people. And that's you. That's what you do. Prysm is a ticket to the game. It's not the game. The game is life and health span. That's what you're doing. And Prysm is the ticket to actually having a happier, healthier, more productive life. That's what we're talking about. So if that's working backwards, healthy households is the end game. Okay. And you want to be able to do it, we're going to give you a pathway, business opportunity, and products to actually make a difference in people's lives that you can measure, not just take, but measure and see that improvement. That's really, really important. And then in addition to that, we're going to make sure that you have something that is going to be in your hands to show them the difference. It's not the end game, but it will get you started. It'll enable you to have a discussion with your daughter, with your son, with your family, with your mom, with your grandma. We're seeing this across the board. So what does it start with? Number one, clarity and purpose. What are you trying to achieve? You're trying to grow your business. You're trying to get healthier. You're trying to understand how to make the invisible visible. You've got it. Clarity and purpose, step one. Step two, we give you solutions, both beauty and wellness, that'll help you achieve the goals that you're trying to go after. And number three is you expand it and share it with your friends, with your neighbors, with your communities. And that's the biggest difference. So when you think about this, you've always got to think about it to begin with the end in mind. That is the key. That is what everything is about. And you look at the Marston, it's an important piece. When you think about business that we're doing right now, this business that we're talking about with Nu Skin, that we are saying, okay, you've got hard-earned money that you've put into supplements or personal care. Is it making a difference? Are you making a difference? Or are we just going through life? Now, a couple things. Patty, you know this, and I'll just mention it here. I just sat with our CEO, Ryan Pearson. And Ryan, right before I got on this call, said, Steve, we're in the best business in the whole world. And I said, I know. He goes, we get to help people. And as many of you know, his father's funeral's tomorrow. And his father passed away over the weekend. And he said with a smile, no tears, wasn't upset. He just said how good it felt to him to know that he's part of a company that is committed to helping people live their healthiest they possibly can live. And that when he goes to the funeral tomorrow, that yeah, it'll be tough. And yeah, it's unfortunate, he's not going to be able to see his father here on this earth anymore. But he's not going to stop sharing the message and the mission of Nu Skin and helping people live happier, healthier, more productive lives. That's what we all get the opportunity to do. That's what we're doing. And that changes everything. And that's what you're a part of. And you know it, and you've seen it. And Patty, I've seen what you do. When you help people, you immediately help others. I've seen your vision. I've seen where you're going. I know what kind of things you're committed to. You are different. And we're different. That's who we are. We're just a different, if you look at it from my standpoint, I think we're just a different company as a whole. And I don't want to make it sound like we're better than anybody else or anything like that. What I'm trying to say is that I look at Nu Skin as a company of people who are a community of people who are trying to make a difference in other people's lives and in our own lives. And once we get that confidence, we can share it with others, because people are not obsessed with devices. They're obsessed with outcomes. They're obsessed with better health, quality of life for their families, more energy for their days. They're committed to a sense of belonging that makes change sustainable. What truly inspires people is not hardware or features, but the relationships they build and the communities they grow within. No one is just taking supplements or just scanning. They are showing up alongside someone they trust. They're learning, they're growing, they're evolving with a sponsor, with somebody that said, hey, let's do it a little different. Let's make sure this is working. Let's make sure we can measure the difference demonstrated. Let's make sure we can help you and your family. So whether it's evolving with a sponsor, a team, but it's a shared vision of wellness. Prysm.io was never meant to be the product. Like I said, it's the ticket, the gateway, the enabler of something much, much bigger. It's the engine of success. The real engine of success is Patty Costa and Andres and all these amazing people here. Our real engine of success is powered by products, but it's you. It's you that makes this all work. Without you, it doesn't mean anything, because nobody gets access to these products. Your personal sponsorship paired with credible science and a meaningful residual income opportunity, that's what creates transformation that no standalone device ever could. Prysm.io is here to amplify human connection, not replace it. That's why it was designed for people, and that's why the device, the app, the wellness ecosystem, all these are centered on you and the relationships you have. When somebody comes and talks to you about the products at Nu Skin, essentially they trust you first, the products and the company second, until they get their own personal experience, and then that trust transfers. But it only starts with you. You can't do it any other way. So we don't ask people to fall in love, for instance, with hardware. We simply want to empower you to build personal brands, share real stories, and grow authentically through social media, human connection, and the spotlight always and will forever be on people, purpose, and progress, supported by technology. So as communities grow, like what you're doing, Patty, and what this amazing group of people are doing is really interesting. As communities grow, something powerful happens. We've seen it time and time again, as within Nu Skin. People become, communities, tribes, scans become rituals. Wellness becomes like a shared language. Beauty becomes a shared language. Clubs form, friendships grow, online and offline. Force for good initiatives come to life organically. They're not forced. They just are, because you're helping people. And these communities endure because people don't quit supportive environments. They just don't. They quit unsupportive ones. So are you going to support the person you brought into the business? Are you going to support their person? Are you going to be there when you make a commitment? Are you going to keep that commitment? When Patty said, I need you to be here at 6 o'clock, I was here. Why? Because I keep my commitments. So let me make sure that's clear. People don't quit supportive environments. Patty, if I was to join Nu Skin, you would definitely be somebody I would want to be my upline, because you support your team. You are amazing. And when people feel seen and valued and connected, which is what you do, they stay for each other. Now, people can get disillusioned and problems can happen and issues go on and people fight and bicker and people are people, right? That's just life. You know, you can't ask for perfection. It's just not possible in this life. But humans do not bond with machines. They bond with people. Community beats features, and essentially relationships beat hardware. Nu Skin is not just a bunch of products. It's a relationship company on leadership. We don't sell devices or supplements. We sell and share belonging. It's simply a platform that allows that human connection. So if you're looking for a product and a company that's designed for people, powered by community, and sustained by human connection like you, Patty, then welcome home. You're here. Let's go. And there's a lot of people who need that, because it's a dark world out there, and there's a lot of negative people, and they need the light that Nu Skin has to offer. So we're just getting started. I can't wait to get going on this thing. What else can I answer for you tonight?
Go.
Steve, no, thank you so much. Steve, thank you so much. I don't know if we had more questions,
No.
Andres, or
No, there's just to not turn it off. Steve, there's just one question that most people ask, because we know we have so many products that serve different targets, and people are just wondering, and they're very curious. Is there any measurement besides carotenoids that you can actually tell us or give us a hint of what's coming up in the future? Because, for example, collagen, the best-selling product for Nu Skin around the world. I mean, will Prysm be able to measure collagen so we can actually increase our sales with collagen and leverage that measurement to just expand the collagen sales around Latin America? That's like more or less like the most question. That's like the question I get the most, like all the time.
¿Se escucha?
Okay. So this is, yes, it's the most asked question. Patty, should I answer it?
I think so. I didn't ask, but yeah, you should answer.
Do you think Astrid cares? Do you think Astrid cares? She doesn't seem very impressed.
Kim?
No, she is impressed. Okay, she's ready.
Yes. Oh yeah, please.
Here's the answer.
Excited. Okay.
Yes, we have other nutrients. And if you're in Johannesburg, you'll hear about it.
Okay, we got it.
Awesome.
And those of you who aren't in Johannesburg, it'll be a little bit of a delay, but you'll hear it. And the whole world will hear about it. But the answer is yes.
Thank you, Steve. So I will promise everybody to update it then after Johannesburg, after South Africa. So Steve,
Patty, guess what? I get in so much trouble. Because I get access to the science, and this question that you just asked gets asked to me all the time.
Yeah.
And so I know the answer to the question, but every time I answer the question, if I give any sort of detail about it, then all the market presidents and all the wonderful vice presidents and everybody around the world say, Steve. When you tell people that, then they ask us, where's the information? Where's the data? And they don't have it yet because we haven't given it to them yet. So in fairness to them, I'm going to be careful that I don't overcommit. But make sure, Johannesburg, you're ready for it, because it's going to come, and everybody will be excited.
Thank you, Steve. That's what I don't ask those questions, because I know. Andres, please. So, Steve, thank you so much for this incredible presentation. We are deeply grateful, not only for your time, but for your heart and your commitment to bring innovation and help us to transform so many lives. I know we feel inspired, energized, and more confident than ever. And thank you for leading with your excellence, Steve. You are incredible. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for being here with us. It has been an absolutely honor to have you. Please give us, please,
Everybody, give him a big round of applause to Steve.
Hey, can I just also say one more thing real fast before I go?
Please.
Real fast before I go, I just want to say thank you to everyone here. I don't see everybody on the call. I do see that Hector Romero's on the call. I don't want to get in trouble by saying somebody's name. And I just want to say thank you to Hector. He has been fantastic and he has been such a tremendous ambassador for New Skin. And there's been so many on this call. I'm going to get in trouble if I say too many people's names, but I just want to say thank you to Hector and Patty and Andres I'm sitting here in my office and that little table that you and I sat with, and we said, okay, this is going to be big. Let's keep going, type thing. And I just want to say thanks for your faith. It's going to be rewarded. And this is going to be huge, Patty. And you and I will look back and say, oh, we were there that day that happened. And it was
Yes.
amazing. So let's go.
Thank you, Steve. We are ready to take the scanner around the world. And
Yes.
we will help you to make the goal to impact 10 million. How many?
10 million households, but this year.
This year, exactly, Steve. Like we are ready to do that. We are working with so many things, and thank you so much, Steve. Thank you.
And we know it's late for you, Steve. So please go home to your wife, to your family. We greatly appreciate spending time with us and just giving us so much energy, so much information. I know our team loves all of this information and the insights, and they're super happy to hear the upcoming news during the Team Elite trip in Johannesburg, and they'll be looking forward to it.
Yeah, and for sure we will ask you again to be with us after Johannesburg, because it's going to be a fun phone call with the leaders after we can share more information. Thank you so much, Steve. Thank you, Steve.
It's so fun. Thank you so much. Have a great evening. Buenas noches.
Buenas noches.
Thank you,
Bye.
Steve. Queridos líderes, dear leaders, so now we will finish our phone call with
Así
Hector
que ahora
Romero.
en españolcito.
Perfecto.
Ya estamos en español.
Aquí coloca
Ya
Héctor.
estamos en español.
Ahora déjenme presentarles para terminar la llamada y para que nos ayude a expander la visión, ¿verdad? Déjenme presentarles a una persona que yo sé que todos aman con su corazón, porque nos ha hecho entender muchísimo más la ciencia que hay detrás de Nu Skin. Y esta persona es Hector Romero, que es COO del grupo Nutrigenética Latam. Tiene más de 25 años en dirección de centros de innovación y tecnología médica. Tiene un MBA de gestión hospitalaria con estudios en epigenética y longevidad celular, estudios de investigación de población en Colombia, Ecuador, México y Perú. Y ahora es un speaker internacional en salud preventiva, tóxicos y longevidad celular en varios países. Ayúdenme a recibirlo también con muchísimos corazones y aplausos para que nos ayude a finalizar esta gran llamada a nuestro gran Héctor Romero.
Gracias, Pati. Les mando un cordial saludo a todos. Gracias por toda su buena energía. Yo no soy del corporativo, entonces les puedo contar chismecitos, pero va a ser al final. Voy a estar 7 minutos con ustedes porque sé que estamos todos cansados y los voy a llevar un poco en la ruta de lo que representa el proyecto, del impacto que tiene esto en los conceptos de salud. Entonces, voy a colocar algunas diapositivas. Algunos de ustedes ya han estado muy atentos en todo el proceso. Para quienes no me conocen, yo trabajo hace más de 20 años desarrollando estudios de investigación clínica, lo que contaba ahí la querida Patti. Y en ese tiempo, esto es importante porque es la conexión que yo encontré con toda la industria de Pharmanex y de Nuskin. Por muchos años he estudiado el origen de las enfermedades, entonces quiero llevarlos a esta reflexión. ¿Ustedes se han dado cuenta que las enfermedades nunca paran de crecer? No hay ningún año en el que nos hayan dicho, bajó el cáncer, bajó la diabetes. No hay ningún año desde hace 27. Hace 27 años que todas las enfermedades crónicas han venido avanzando. Esto no es para verlo con miedo. Siempre le he dicho a todos en mis redes, en las presentaciones donde me invitan, a que la salud se debe ver con respeto, no con miedo. Si hay algún indicador que estás viviendo, bueno, ponte en la tarea de resolverlo. Nuestro cuerpo puede regenerarse, depende de tus hábitos. Y ahí entran conceptos como la epigenética. Estas son las enfermedades de mayor crecimiento hoy en Latinoamérica. De hecho, está por fuera de la estadística de Estados Unidos, pero Estados Unidos tiene primer lugar en diabetes a nivel mundial. Ok, pero estoy hablando de Latinoamérica. Primer lugar diabetes, segundo renal crónica, tercera cardiovascular, ahí está el infarto y la hipertensión. Cuarto lugar cáncer. Ya el cáncer no está en el primero y segundo lugar como estuvo por muchos años. Sin embargo, el cáncer sigue creciendo a pasos agigantados. Hagan esta reflexión conmigo. Si la gente está enfermándose de cáncer todavía en números muy altos, 66.000 nuevos casos en Perú, por ejemplo, este año que pasó, eso es muy alto. 82.000 casos en México. Pero si esta no es el primer lugar, ¿qué estará pasando entonces en la diabetes? ¿Me sigue? Ahora hagan esta reflexión para que le demos poder a lo que representa Prisma. Si la gente se está enfermando y muriendo de estas primeras enfermedades, diabetes, enfermedad renal crónica, infarto, hipertensión, cáncer, ¿cuál de esas enfermedades tiene que ver con la alimentación? Todas, todas. Para que haya un diabético, tiene que haber un diabetes tipo 2, tiene que haber un desbalance en la obesidad, alteraciones del azúcar. Una enfermedad renal crónica es una persona que tiene diabetes y posiblemente hígado graso. Una persona que tiene infartos porque tapó las arterias. ¿Por qué las tapó? Porque está llena de azúcar que se convirtió en grasa que le tapó las arterias. El cáncer es una degeneración total a nivel celular, fundamentada hoy, lo tenemos claro, en el azúcar, por lo tanto la obesidad. Ok, ¿a dónde los quiero llevar con esta reflexión? Después de estudiar tantos años y de todo esto que les digo que hacemos en estudios, hoy el balance está en que la mayoría de personas se están enfermando por lo que nos alimentamos. Entonces, yo pongo un ejemplo con Gladys Quintero en México, con Joana Jaime en Bogotá o con Karen y Percy como pareja allá en Lima. En diferentes países tenemos diferentes hábitos, pero tenemos la misma industria que se está encargando desde la parte ultraprocesada de hacer que la gente se esté contaminando. Tenemos más de 100 años comiendo productos tóxicos sin darnos cuenta. Bueno, de eso ya se puede hablar. Hace algunos años era prohibido. Entonces, si van a esta reflexión conmigo, Nuskin construye por primera vez hay un dispositivo en el mundo que podría medir esa deficiencia nutricional. No sé si me siguen. Yo sé que están cansados, pero esto puede ser el mensaje más profundo para unir toda esta filosofía que nos deja Steve. Oye, estamos al frente de una oportunidad de construir cómo cambiar la vida de las personas con un aparatico que le podría decir a una mamá si el niño tiene deficiencias nutricionales o no. Y en ese momento tomar una acción diferente para que el niño no repita la enfermedad familiar. Estamos al frente de un aparatico que podría hacer que un abuelito pueda subir su inmunidad sin llevarlo a la clínica sin tomas de sangre. Y eso lo ha desarrollado, obviamente, Nuskin con el respaldo del doctor Joe Chan, después de 40 años de investigar todo lo que tiene que ver con las zonas azules, entender el principio de los genes de expresión juvenil y toda esta teoría que hay alrededor de los telómeros, que ya no es una teoría. Todo eso que planteaba el doctor Joe Chan en la década del 90, hoy ya está certificado y estudiado con estudios dobles ciegos donde somos nosotros mismos los que estamos generando las enfermedades. ¿Cómo las estamos generando? Hábitos y alimentación. Por eso toda la estructura que tiene Nuskin y la división de Pharmanex está enfocada en epigenética. Por eso el aparatico lo que te mide es tu estilo de vida, la nutrición, ¿no? ¿Se han dado cuenta que te enseña el módulo? Nutrición, estilo de vida y condición física. ¿Te mueves? ¿Duermes? ¿De qué te alimentas? Y eso es lo que mide en un algoritmo esta tecnología. Detrás de esto está todo el soporte de una compañía que cotiza en bolsa. Eso es importante para los que están aquí por primera vez. Esta es una compañía del tamaño de una compañía farmacéutica. Tiene la espalda financiera para hacer estudios clínicos, cotizan en bolsa y eso les da un valor de respaldo. Para el que no lo comprende, tranquilos, pero esto es importante. Cotizar en la bolsa de cualquier país involucra que tu información es pública. Para los que son como Santo Tomás, como yo, significa que si estás en bolsa, tú tienes que presentar tus estados financieros, los estudios clínicos, todo es público y eso hace que haya una transparencia total frente a otras industrias donde tú preguntas algo y nadie tiene acceso a la información y te la entregan. Toda la información de esta compañía es pública. Pongan ahí en Google la sigla NUS, que es el nombre que tiene Nuskin, y ustedes mismos miren qué ha pasado en bolsa. Voy a dar una nota aclaratoria importante a lo que nos habló hoy Steve. Infosys es una compañía hindú, bueno, ya hace parte del conglomerado de empresas ahí con una participación en Nuskin, pero Infosys hizo este estudio que lo presentó ahora Steve. Si le prestaron atención, porque creo que ahí la traducción no funcionó, eh, Lo que hizo la compañía es que ya tienen mapeado en el mundo cuáles son las deficiencias nutricionales de los principales nutrientes que necesita una persona para mantenerse longeva. Si yo sé que Helen Rojas vive en Colombia y está en un mapa, vean el mapa por favor. Aquí está Colombia, lo estoy señalizando. Si vas al mapa de vitamina A y Helen vive en Colombia, dice que en Colombia el 50% de la población tiene deficiencias de vitamina A. Pero si te vas a países que están en África, como este que estoy señalizando acá, Kazajistán que está aquí, hay deficiencias de vitamina A entre 75 y 100. Y así sucesivamente se hizo estudios de hierro, de cobre, de calcio, de selenio, de todo lo que necesita el cuerpo. Entonces hoy estamos en una tarea titánica de construir suplementos de acuerdo a las deficiencias nutricionales que hay en cada país. Entonces, si yo ya tengo, Pati, toda esta información y con esta información la compañía puede rentabilizar los productos. Podríamos hacer que el Jupe sea más económico o que el Vitality vaya con especificaciones técnicas alimenticias para la necesidad de ese país. Entonces serían mucho más alta la efectividad y a partir de ahora podríamos medir esa efectividad de los nutrientes en este dispositivo que ya tiene más de 26 millones de escaneos, donde tú te vas a convertir en una persona que puede influenciar positivamente en la salud de tu familia, pero si haces parte del sector salud, imagínate tener un dispositivo que en tiempo real sin agujas te pueda decir si al niño que le vas a dar un antibiótico tiene el sistema inmune alto o bajo. Eso cambia la forma en la que el médico ve el espectro de la medicación. ¿Tú eres nutricionista? ¿Estás aquí conmigo? Imagínate el valor que tiene saber si los pacientes realmente están consumiendo frutas o verduras. Hola Andrés, ¿ya cambiaste la dieta y estás comiendo más proteína y más verduras? Sí, 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 Héctor, sí, sí, sí. A ver, póngame aquí el dedito. Ay, no, Héctor, es que esta semana no se me olvidó la verdurita. Bueno, vamos a medirte igual. Por primera vez hay un dispositivo que nos permitiría validar esto. Entonces, detrás de esto hay una oportunidad muy grande. Hoy se abre con este espacio toda la apertura para entender que nosotros somos eh, la marca que podría tener el único dispositivo en este momento que puede medir las deficiencias nutricionales en los carotenoides para determinar bajo ese factor si las personas tienen o no tienen antioxidantes. Ya no les voy a mostrar estudios clínicos, Steve ya les mostró, ya pronto vamos a tener acceso a esa plataforma que él nos mostró. Solo quiero explicar aquí un poquito técnico en cristiano como me gusta para que todos lo entiendan. ¿Cuál es la ciencia detrás de este aparato? Hay dos cosas que se unen, la teoría de Raman y algo que se llama el campo espectral. La teoría de Raman es la dispersión de la luz monocromática. Nuestro cuerpo es luz. No estoy hablando de nada exotérico. Literalmente, Loli, si ves mi mano en la piel está hecha de células, las células están hechas de átomos, los átomos están hechos de electrones, protones, neutrones, los electrones, protones, neutrones de quarks y los quarks están hechos de quantum. Ahí aparece un término que se llama física cuántica, que es un área de la ciencia que estudia del mundo atómico al mundo subatómico. Desde ahí se pueden medir en algo que llamamos fotones de luz. ¿Cuántos fotones de luz tiene Helen? Si consumió hoy arándanos, entonces va a subir las antocianinas. Si Loli consumió hoy G3, va a subir los betacarotenos y esos fotones de luz se pueden medir a través del campo espectral que tiene esta tecnología. Es un poco más técnico, pero quiero hoy llevarlos a esa visión de entender que por primera vez en el mundo hay un dispositivo que podrías tener en la mano. Hasta hace algunos meses, esta que era la tecnología que tenía Nuskin para hablar de el escáner biofotónico, pues no era asequible para todo el mundo. Algunas personas que tenemos esto nos permitía utilizarla en estudios clínicos, en atención de pacientes. Ahora tú puedes tener esto en la casa. Si no entiendes el valor que tiene esto, es profundo. Nos estamos muriendo de enfermedades generadas por la alimentación. Diabetes, hipertensión, síndrome metabólico, cáncer, obesidad, alteraciones hormonales. Todo eso que nombré tiene que ver con lo que te metes en la boca. Hace 200 años nos moríamos de tuberculosis, de sífilis, de gonorrea, enfermedades altamente infecciosas. Hoy, ¿de qué está muriendo la humanidad? De lo que comemos. Por eso esto tiene un valor muy importante y he estado acompañando todo el proceso de la compañía para ayudar a difundir correctamente la visión de lo que representa Prisma. Entonces creo que con esta visión y lo que nos ha compartido Steve, eh, solo les puedo decir algo, pues nosotros no estamos autorizados a hablar, pero el equipo sí puede medir 6 cosas más profundas. Recién cuando se puedan, ellos nos darán las pautas. Y la idea de esto es que sea un upgrade, una actualización trimestral que haga que la gente genere ese caos de comunicación para que podamos mantener la atención en el equipo en ese periodo. Si tenemos 6 actualizaciones más, tenemos 18 meses por delante para hablar de Prisma. Y en esos periodos trimestrales lo que va a ir ocurriendo es que van a ir ingresando más productos de Pharmanex a cada país. ¿Eso no es una gran noticia? Eso es lo único que estamos autorizados a decir. Sí puede medir un montón de cosas, sí. Y ya está, no es que lo están estudiando, ya está todo eso listo. El tema es que se necesita el tiempo para mantener la atención, crear esa comunidad de conciencia, que es un poco la visión que sucede cuando hay una tecnología nueva. Hagan el ejemplo de los relojes inteligentes de hacer deporte y con esto termino mi participación. Se han vendido en Latinoamérica más de 27 millones de relojes para hacer deporte. Cuando eso se lanzó hace 5 años, de forma masiva, nadie creía en eso. En Perú, una marca muy conocida de estos relojes empezó con 5.000 relojes en el primer año. A hoy, después de 5 años, después de los pinchazos, se han vendido 7,5 millones de relojes que utiliza la gente para medir su resistencia física, para medir indicadores de impedancia ahí en el deporte. Pero nadie tiene un dispositivo para saber si el niño tiene antioxidantes o no. Nadie tiene un dispositivo para saber si tú mismo lo que estás comiendo sirve. Nadie tiene un dispositivo para saber si Silvana los suplementos que está tomando realmente le sirven. Hay un montón de productos que nos venden en Latinoamérica que no sirven. Esto te cambiaría la forma de ver la consulta, de ver la nutrición, de ver la salud de tu familia. Gracias por tomarse el tiempo de acompañarnos hoy. Le dimos el protagonismo a Steve, que era la persona que venía de corporativo, para que él tuviera ese espacio para compartir información hacia nosotros. Y como siempre ustedes saben, nos vemos el próximo lunes en la sala de ciencia donde profundizaremos. Este lunes cerramos con broche de oro, vamos a hablar con alguien muy especial, sorpresa para que vayan, y vamos a hablar de Jude Span y la relación que tiene Jude con Prisma. Entonces ahí les dejo la sala de hoy. Gracias por invitarme a participar de esto y que sea la bendición de Dios arrancando este proyecto en Latinoamérica.
No, espectacular, amigo.
Ya.
Muchas gracias. Muchas gracias por tu intervención. Gracias, obviamente, a Steve. Gracias a todos los que estuvieron aquí esta noche. Como se dieron cuenta y si escucharon bien la charla de Steve, de las mediciones adicionales que se vienen, habló también de la incorporación de mediciones tipo H-Lock en Prisma. Y venimos, la empresa viene hablando de este tema de gemelo digital de hace muchos años, 6, 7, 8 años atrás. Y ya Steve nos está dando pildoritas así de lo que se viene. Entonces, de verdad, esto es muy grande. A mí de verdad, me erizo de la emoción de lo que se viene, porque este es solo el comienzo. Este es solo el comienzo y ahorita en el viaje de Team Elite en Johannesburg nos van a ya ampliar una más cobertura de cuál sería la siguiente medición que vamos a poder tener con el escáner. Y sí, cada 3 meses se viene una actualización gigantesca. Así que, equipo, ya saben, esto es el comienzo de algo gigantesco, gigantesco. O sea, de verdad, a veces yo no puedo dormir de lo grande que es esto. Y tenemos la oportunidad de transformar miles de vidas, de crear un movimiento global de transformación de bienestar que se enfoca primero en ser una fuerza de bien cambiando vidas. Y al hacer eso, atraemos una abundancia gigantesca. Recuerden lo que decía Steve, Prisma no es el objetivo final. El objetivo final es educar a las personas, crear salud y a través de esa salud es que nosotros creamos una abundancia para todos impresionante. Entonces, amor, ¿parece?
Sí, así que gracias a todos por estar aquí, a todos los líderes alrededor del mundo de varios países. Como se dan cuenta, esto es un negocio global y también a los invitados. Y espero que ustedes vean que esto es el comienzo. Recuerden que esto es el comienzo comienzo de una industria que es 6 trillones de dólares. Imagínense cómo nos podemos posicionar en esta industria del bienestar cuando solo estamos en el comienzo, ¿no? En el comienzo de esa gran iceberg, ¿no? Eso que se viene gigantesco. Así que los esperamos en la llamada de lunes de ciencia con nuestro querido Héctor Romero y todos los invitados que él tiene, porque cada vez vamos a entender más lo que hay detrás. Así que espero que todos ustedes puedan adquirir su escáner, su Prysm IO, si aún no lo han adquirido, pero sobre todo que sean testimonio de ir subiendo los antioxidantes. Yo estaba en 230, ahora estoy en 750 y puedo notar la diferencia. Entonces, ahora con la llegada de Jude y todo lo que se viene, el lunes nos van a explicar más. Así que tengan una excelente noche y nos vemos el lunes en la llamada de ciencia para que ustedes puedan seguir invitando muchas personas. Muchas
Muchas
gracias.
gracias, feliz
Muchas
noche.
gracias, querida.
Muchas gracias a
Gracias
Silvana
estar
por tu
aquí.
excelente traducción. Gracias de corazón.
Gracias, Silvanita. Sí, excelente traducción, que no es fácil traducir de
Emotiva.
forma inmediata, pero lo hiciste con